From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
And good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on the Noon News on this Friday. I'm Andrea Lutz. Much of Montana still in that deep freeze. We want you to take a look outside right now over Billings as those temperatures continue to dip below zero. The snow out there also frozen, making driving and traveling difficult. But we do hear there could be a warm up coming in the future. We're going now to meteorologist Miller Robson. He's got the answer about that.
That's right. Yes, we're going to finally get above zero on Monday in a good part of the state, and also maybe above freezing in spots, but we'll tell you more about that in just a bit. We had some record low highs yesterday, some record low temperatures this morning. We're going to show you that coming up with the main forecast. But right now we got a lot of minuses across the board. Along the high line, minus 14 in Havre, Cutbank at 5 below, 12 below in Helena. At Billings, we're at 10 below, Miles City at 9 below, and we've got some negative temperatures down in northern Wyoming as well. Look at those wind chills, absolutely brutal. In some spots, we could see wind chills tonight in excess of 50 to maybe 60 below in spots. But there is a warm up on the way. I'll tell you all about that good news coming up with the main forecast here in just a little bit. Andrew.
It cannot come fast enough, Miller. Thank you so much. All right, this is the big story of the day. Montana's mask mandate is expiring. Now, Wednesday, Governor Greg Gianforte pointed to that continued drop in active COVID-19 cases statewide, saying that local jurisdictions, though, may still choose to continue their own mask mandates. And also businesses and other establishments do still have the right to require masks for customers and visitors. And so we certainly are seeing that in some of Montana's largest cities. In Gallatin County, the health department says the local emergency rule enforcing face masks indoor will remain in place. That is for now. The health board says members still coming together to voting on a future change could happen, saying they could lift the rule. Gallatin County Health Officer Matt Kelly says it's a concern given the existing numbers.
The fact that we're not going to have that statewide is concerning and confusing. We still have thousands of people in the state and in this county, vulnerable people who can't get a vaccine, and they're scared. I'm worried that it makes more risk for all Montanans.
And the Board of Health is set to meet again February 25th to discuss. Now, the Butte Silver Bow health officer says the mask mandate will stay in place. Yellowstone County's health officer says community members can choose to wear a mask on their own, but there is no mask mandate in place now for Yellowstone County. Well, the mask mandate will remain in effect for Missoula. This means you'll still need to keep your mask on to enter public spaces. The Missoula City County Health Department says when the science suggests it's safe to repeal a mask mandate, the county will plan to do so. And one of the first Montana cities to take a stand on masks, of course, is Whitefish. Despite the mandate lift, city officials plan to enact an emergency ordinance to continue a mask mandate of their own. MTN's Sean Wells has more.
An emergency ordinance approved by the Whitefish City Council in early January will go into effect Friday, continuing the mask mandate in the city of Whitefish. The emergency ordinance will be in effect for 90 days, requiring all people inside a business or indoor space open to the public to wear face coverings over their mouth and nose at all times. Under the ordinance, all businesses are required to have visible signage posted reminding visitors to wear a mask. Children under the age of 5 are not required to wear a face covering, and people visiting a bar or restaurant do not need to wear a mask while seating. Whitefish City Manager Dana Smith says the emergency ordinance will help Whitefish businesses stay open as travelers continue to visit the resort town.
I do believe that this is in the best interest of all of our visitors, community members, and businesses, in that it's going to protect an outbreak of COVID that could overwhelm our healthcare system.
Smith says the Whitefish COVID Task Force will also continue to promote COVID-19 safety messaging throughout the city for the foreseeable future. In Whitefish, Sean Wells, MTN News.
And the City Council could reconsider an additional emergency ordinance after 90 days, depending on guidance from the CDC and their local health officials. In less than a week, COVID restrictions in Cascade County could be lifted. The case rate has now been less than 25 for about 3 weeks. If that rate holds, the restrictions could be lifted. Now, the restrictions do not include a mask mandate, but county health officials may meet next week to decide to require masks. And the health officer says masks could be more important than ever if the current COVID restrictions are lifted and because of today's mandate and how it's ending. A mask mandate will remain in effect for Lewis and Clark County, but public health is lessening some restrictions after the county saw improvement in hospital capacity and business compliance. Beginning today, bars, restaurants, distilleries, casinos, and gyms will be operating at 75% capacity, and events over 250 individuals are still prohibited unless they are associated with a school. In an ongoing battle over COVID restrictions and concerns from local businesses, the Montana Tavern Association's request for fees to be waived has been denied by commissioners. 8 of the Butte commissioners voted to deny that request. Those voting against say they believe extending the closing time to 12:30 was an olive branch that other businesses don't have the chance to have.
We still have restrictions on other businesses, 50% of restaurants and that sort of thing. So I just wanted to remind everybody that that was what their request was. And I'm a bit surprised, I'll be honest, that was not adequate.
And 3 commissioners who voted not to deny the request say essential businesses like Walmart are not suffering like bars and casinos are. Butte's annual St. Patrick's Day parade will not get the green light this year due to COVID-19. Matt Boyle with the Butte America Foundation says the Butte Health Department rejected the organization's plan to host the parade on March 17th. Organizers plan to host a virtual parade by broadcasting it online and on TV to encourage people to watch it from home. However, health officials worried the parade would still draw crowds to gather along that parade route in Uptown Butte. Our focus will shift today in former President Trump's impeachment trial. Democrats wrapping up their case after 2 days of disturbing video from the deadly attacks on the U.S. Capitol. They say Trump was responsible for inciting the violence. Today, his defense will make their case on how it's not. Then once the arguments wrap up, the Senate will need a 2/3 majority to convict Trump. However, many Republicans indicated they would move to acquit him before the trial even started. The current interim Gallatin County Sheriff is the only person to apply for the Gallatin County Sheriff's vacant position. So the Gallatin County Commission will interview Dan Springer in a public meeting next Wednesday. Commissioners are expected to make an appointment at their next meeting, and that's going to be Tuesday, February 23rd. You may remember former Sheriff Brian Gutkin retired at the end of 2020, and then he took the job as the head of the Department of Corrections for the state of Montana. Montana State University says its spring enrollment numbers are in line for a typical non-pandemic spring semester. University President Waded Cruzado says meeting those numbers is a testament to the efforts made by faculty and staff to keep students in school. The spring head count shows 15,048 students. More than 58% are Montana residents, and the school also says there was increased graduate student enrollment, continued programs and growth, and also a record number of degrees awarded this past fall. All right, we do have more ahead on the new news on this Friday, including getting you ready for Valentine's Day. We'll take you to Conrad, where a new candy shop has become a family affair. But first, Miller Robson back in with a look at that statewide weather forecast.